Good morning, everybody. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can, excuse me, skip ahead 14 minutes. And we'll start the radio broadcast then. If you are one of the radio stations hooking up with me, and just basically an audio check here is what we're doing. Little pre-show. She's white out here this morning. Got, let's say, a good 4 to 6 inches of snow. Good 4 to 6 inches of snow. And let's see. I'd say at least that much. And a lot of wind. So, morning, Mr. Bulgy, Whalen, morning, just pushing snow this morning. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to have to or not, but I'll take a look when I get outside. Plug the old skid steer in and throw the snow bucket on and maybe move a little bit, but the wind's really not done yet here, so. Mr. Cox, good morning. Oh, by God, the wind is down quite a bit from yesterday. So much for putting new scoria and everything on the in and around the yard. Now I'm going to be pushing all that stuff out. Didn't get time to pack in. Very little there. Morning, Mike Wagner. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. See if I got this ready to go. I do. Yeah. Get to pack up all my stuff here and spend 4 days in Bismarck for meetings. Yeehaw. The meetings I'm okay with. It's in Bismarck, being in Bismarck. For some reason, I'm having trouble getting rid of the Dr. Teeth on there. Yeah. Oh, well. He started it, looks like, in 1995. So, Dan Brown, morning. Open your heart next Saturday. Up, Todd already sent me the email on that. Still got the rest of the stations that'll get her done, though. Finally slept last night for the first time in like a week. Morning, Eric. How much snow did you get over your way? I think for the most part, I mean, besides the amount of snow, I believe pretty much the entire Dakota Territory got covered. Only 2? Okay. Huh. Good enough. Good enough. But I think everybody got something. Pretty close to it. I know in the, I think we got, I'm saying 4 to 6 here at the ranch. Roughly there. It's hard with the wind, whatnot. I'm just looking out here where the wind protected areas are. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe 4. 3 to 4. I usually keep my corral, the continuous fence, 10 inches off the bottom, and yeah, I'd say about 3 to 4 inches snow. What'd you send me, Mr. Bulgy? Yeah. I'd say that's about what we look like, too. Five to 6 in Lemon, Morristown area. Okay. Fair enough. Until I actually get outside, I didn't do much yesterday. Went out and fed a horse and a couple of cows and came back in. Makes the deer move a little more still. I'm feeling, yeah. Yeah, you guys got another week for West River and 2 weeks for East River hunting, I see. So, I know it's moving the elk around. Holy buckets. Maybe we got a little more snow than that. It's hard to tell. I agree. I do agree with that. What is this one? Morning, Dave. Should we call the Arman?
Good morning, Sunshine.
You know, you're the only number that I remember in my head anymore. That,
Oh, really?
That and the number that I grew up when I was a kid.
That's funny.
It's only two. Hell, I hardly remember my own number.
Yeah, I know. It's like my kids' numbers. Everybody's. It's like it's hard because you don't utilize it anymore. You just speed dial.
No.
Yeah. You guys getting snow out there?
Yeah. It's. I'm gonna say 3 to 4 inches is what we got so far, but hard to tell with the wind.
Jason said at the ranch, I bet we got 14 inches. He said.
Really?
And it's falling straight down like on the deck. He just measured it 4 inches. He said it's right now in our Ranger, which is jacked up. He said when you open the door, it's like you scrape snow. It's light and fluffy. So he's watching some elk this morning right now, getting in the cornfield, and I'm gonna get snow. My son just went to the airport, so once I got to clear out Mom's driveway and stuff, and then I'm gonna head down there.
You know that you keep taking photos of those elk. You need at least a couple years of proof that they're sitting there on your place, and then you can put your land in habitat and get a tag, or attempt to get a tag.
Well, I've tried to talk to those guys, and they're like, "Oh, those are just elk moving through." I said, "You guys," I said, "Come on." I said, "You want me to send you all the?" I know. I said, "I can send you the cows that have calves that stay there all year." I said, "From when they calve out in the spring to now," and Jason's watching bulls now. I said, and everybody else knows we got them. I mean, in a 10 square mile area.
If you have cows with calves, they are staying in your area.
Yeah. And that's what we tried to tell them.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. We had a district advisory meeting, and it's very obvious that to me, it's obvious in some, like the fish on the fish side of things. Oh, sorry, station 7 o'clock here. Let me see here. It'll be 7:01 here shortly. I'll do a countdown and I'll tell you what my theory is and what I've witnessed. And this is why I stopped going to these advisory meetings. Stations 7:01, 8:01 Central on Mark. So what I got out of it was they like to keep things very gray area. In the wild game. But on the fish, I think they do a great job on the fish side of things. I mean,
yes, they do.
But when it comes to the landowner relationships on the western side of the state, I think there was like 13 game and fish employees and only 12 of us that showed up for the meeting. So I mean, there's getting less and less people that and we ask them, and it's always, well, we'll look into that, and then never look into it. They never follow up on it. So I know.
And the thing is about fishing, it's all public, so they're just happy as larks,
Right.
And again, they told me the first time, they said, well, you're gonna have to let people hunt. I said, I've already let people hunt. I said, I got no problem with it. I said, I really don't want the elk here personally. I said, they don't do anything. They don't help my deer. I said, I can't shoot them. I said, I feed them. They eat all my food.
Yeah.
So
and they and they'll eventually start pushing your deer out.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, I'm not overly thrilled with it, but like I said, I'll just keep a lot of their stuff. It's like we were just talking about again, just the tagging requirement. It'd be simple to change, but they won't change it.
No.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what to say about them.
There's nothing to say there. It's all run by East River. If they want it changed East River, by golly, it's going to get changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Just
don't
more.
know.
There's just more, more influence, more legislative push out that way.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, comes down to changing stuff. You got to go through the legislature, and if that's the case, well, we're outnumbered. That's all
Well, and
there is
again,
to it.
it should be like it's totally two different areas. It's like, how about you guys manage that side? We manage this side. Our guys vote on it on this side. West River votes. East River votes. You take care of East River. We take care of West River.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
have an East River season and a West River season too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. South Dakota's so far ahead of us and stuff. You know, they've just done a better job.
Well, they have a better relationship. You know, they didn't for a while, but they do now.
Well, yeah, like I said, maybe it's going to take a shutdown or a lockdown.
It is, but then you're going to be tearing family. You know, then. Well, I still want to use my gratis tag. I still want to do this. You know, it's going to be a shutdown. It's got to be a complete shutdown. Yeah, and I think that's going to be hard as hell to get the landowners on the same page on that.
I just think even getting the landowners together nowadays.
Yeah, you can't even do that at a game and fish advisory meeting. So
no, can't get them there for the windmills. You can't get them there for anything.
No, as windmills are uglier than hell.
Mm-hmm. And they're coming our way.
Oh yeah,
2026.
Yep. Just a matter of time because that's what they wanted to set all this. Oh, nice moose taken up by canoe.
Yeah, we had a moose at the place at the ranch.
Really?
Yeah, Jason called me. You drinking? He goes, no, it's a moose. And then he took a picture of it in the morning. He goes, it's big and ugly. Big cow.
Yeah.
So,
no, we haven't. I think we've had one kind of skittle across here, but they like that farm ground, that moose. You know, people can say habitat all they want. I guarantee you put them out on an open stubble field, they're going to love life.
Yeah.
That's still habitat. I don't care what anybody says. You don't need friggin' trees and shrubs to have habitat. Some things live on just open prairie too. So.
Well, absolutely.
All right. We got 45 seconds here, John. I'm going to go quiet.
Okay,
turn you down there. Stations. 35 seconds to showtime, 35 seconds to showtime on Mark. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Heard all across the Dakota Territory on great stations like KGFX out of Pierce, South Dakota, KOLY, the fishing capital of the world in Mobridge, and we go to Bismarck out of the 100 years of radio broadcast for KFire 550, KCJB up in the northern section of North Dakota, and Minot, and of course the western edge, KLTC and 106.9. Good morning, everybody. Scott Bachmeyer with you as we are coming off of, I guess you could say, for the 2025-2026 winter. It came in with a vengeance here across the Dakota Territory. A lot of snowing and drifting and blowing roads here. I'm looking at some of the road reports across both North and South Dakota, and there's some sketchy roads out that way. So if you're traveling, be safe, and I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving with their family. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV, the man, the myth, the legend, joins me fresh off of North Dakota's deer season, rifle season anyway, is finally in the books. And South Dakota, the West River side still has another week, and East River's got 2 weeks here. So a little bit different dates down on that side. John, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Just peachy. Just peachy. I'm looking out here in some snow-covered areas. The only thing that is hurting me is my PRF insurance on my rainfall insurance. I was supposed to get some good money in November, December, and this is kind of chipping away at it here, John.
I don't think there's a ton of moisture in this stuff yet, but
Yeah.
it's pretty light and fluffy here.
Is it? You said in the central part of the state of North Dakota, you're looking at 14 inches in some areas in that area, and I'm getting reports. Here at the ranch in the western edge, southwestern corner, got I don't know 3 to 4 inches, a couple inches over by the different. There's different 5 to 6 in that Morristown, South Dakota area. So it varies no matter where you go.
Yeah, and like I said here, I would think we have 6 to 8 inches. I would say Jason's down at the ranch, which I will be joining him shortly. But he took the tape measure out yesterday and he measured twice after he shoveled the deck, and there was 4 inches and then 4 inches, and it snowed through the evening. And I'm just looking at my trail cameras, and the deer, when they're walking in the snow, it's a lot of it's up to their under their belly. So we've got quite a bit of snow down there. It's light and fluffy though.
Yeah, Schrieffer Red Angus up there, their sale coming up here next month. He says anywhere from 11 to 17 inches up in that Golden Valley area. Holy moly. So yeah, it came down, I guess. Here it is. It's time to go coyote hunting, John.
Yep. I've been thinking about that. I actually ran into a gentleman from IRA, the thermal, and their new knock picks is absolutely insane. I'm trying real hard to work something out with them, just because the one I have right now I love. It's kind of an entry model, and I had no complaints about it, but it doesn't fit on my system. I have that Magnatech, which I think is the coolest thing since sliced bread, because that's the one where you can swap your scopes out. And I run that 22-250, and I love it. And it's got my Vortex scope on it right now, and I can pop that off, pop it on, pop it off, pop it on, and you can shoot like darts all day long. And I want to get a thermal that I can just take that daytime off, put my thermal on, and it will be zeroed. Once I get it zeroed in, and I can switch back and forth. So if I want to hunt coyotes during the day, I don't have to worry about it. And like I said, that Magnatech, honestly, I have a 6-inch or 8-inch gong at 300 yards, and sitting off my bipod, I can ding that thing all day long, take that scope off, put it back on, and it doesn't lose its zero at all.
I've been looking into the iRays as well, along with the pulsars, and I don't know. Then I was talking to this National Guard firefighter guy in Dickinson one day, and there's a new one that Runnings is carrying. It's not ATN, it's like AGM, and he claims that it goes down to colder temperatures better than the pulsar and the iRays. And I guess that's one thing I'd like to know too, is what's the bottom temperatures.
Well, and I just looked at, I was talking to Kyle Klein at Shields, and Kyle's a big coyote hunter. Been doing it for years, and we were talking, he showed me some video of the low end bolt series from IRA or knock picks. And one of the culprits, or the things that thermals do not like, is bad weather, like snow, fog, things like that. And I actually had just watched a review, and this guy said it's insane. He goes, it does not affect these new scopes. He said it's bad weather, it just eats it up. And Kyle showed me a video of the guy. He said it was blowing snow, and you could see at 160 yards, you could see the trail in the snow the coyote was leaving, coming back to the dead cow.
Yeah, that's amazing. The new technology, well, I shouldn't say that. The old technology was great for its time. I mean, when it came out, when I had my first one, now I'm looking at upgrading, because I know the newer technology is even better. Plus,
you guys can write them off. Did you know that?
Technically, yeah, we can write them off.
Yeah.
And that, which is fine, and also one thing that I do have to credit the Game and Fish, we pushed the thermal cutoff date to June 1st. So this winter, going to June 1st, we can go to June 1st instead of March 15th, which is exciting for people that run cattle and have calving dates and everything a little bit later on that. So that's exciting.
Yeah. And I think, this is, again, my opinion, it's 2 cents, but there's no reason not to have a season year round. We have a season year round for coyotes, and the Game and Fish has said, well, we don't want guys shooting deer. Well, we have muzzleload season right now. And you could stick one of those on a muzzleloader if you wanted to. And these new muzzleloaders can shoot 400, 500 yards with a scope on them. And I just don't think I'm a firm believer that bad guys are always going to do bad things. It doesn't make a difference what season. So why not let the good guys take advantage of it, shoot as many coyotes as we can, because we know right now we have a serious problem with our deer numbers, and the coyotes are not going to they're not going to help us. And so let's kill as many as we can. So I'm hoping in time they'll open it up like South Dakota, and I think Montana's year round too.
Yep. So I don't believe the Game and Fish made that choice as much as other influence from other wildlife organizations.
But what are we listening to them for?
Well, I'm just saying, I know, but they're the ones that put a big push on saying, well, after June 1st, if somebody's out thermal hunting and it's a brand new fawn that just birthed out, they might mistake it for a coyote. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'm in my mind, I'm like, I don't know what technology they're using for scopes, but there's no way that you would mistake a fawn for a coyote. But that was their argument. But at least we got it pushed back past March 15th, which is a big, I mean, it's not a full win, but I still consider it a small win.
It is. It's huge, because we had talked about that, the calving in North Dakota, let some guys start in February. But most of them are doing it in that May, some even go into June. I mean, it's just necessary, if you're going to use it to help the ranchers.
And there's a lot of coyotes out this year, no doubt about it. It looks like, they love the snow too. It's easier hunting and snow for these coyotes. Well, maybe not the soft stuff, but once it starts to hard pack, it gets a little bit easier for them. But John, we're up against our first break already. And if you have questions or comments you want to call in, you can always do that live here. It's a toll-free number, 888-932-5682. That's 888-9-DAKOTA. I taken text messages on my cell. It's 701-425-6651. Again, 701-425-6651. Or live chatting through my YouTube channel is always an option as well, as so many people have gone to that too. We'll be back with more John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV, covering a little bit more about the deer season and seasons ahead of us right after these messages. Cattle producers, the Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale is coming up on DV Auction on January 26th through the 31st, with 45 coming 2-year-old bulls, 5 registered bred heifers, and 100 commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery available on all bulls. $100 sale credit to anybody who comes and views the bulls or the bred heifers in January prior to the sale. You can find more information at SchrieferRedAngus.com or DVAuction.com. The Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale only on DV Auction, January 26th to the 31st.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com.
Ranchers looking for grass? Join Piper's Auctioneers for 2 exclusive ranchland auctions in the Tri-State Corner. On December 10th, bid on 2,500 acres of pasture, hay, and hunting land in Bowman and Slope counties near Marmarth on the edge of the Badlands and the Little Missouri Valley. Piper's will also offer a 7,000-acre ranch in Bowman and Fallon counties, built for year-round livestock production with an incredible hay and cropland base. For full details and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to pipers.com.
The North Dakota Stockman's Foundation will host a night of fun-filled Western elegance at the Stockman's Ball December 6th in Bismarck. Come enjoy prime rib, auctions, entertainment, and dancing to live music. Your support will help the foundation provide hope and opportunity for the cattle industry for this generation and the next through disaster relief, scholarships, research, and more. It's a good time and for a good cause. Call 223-2522 for tickets. That's the Stockman's Ball, December 6th in Bismarck.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down, and when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors continues here on a Saturday morning. I don't know if it's beautiful or not. It depends on how you look at it. The wind is down here in my area, so I'm going to call it beautiful Saturday morning. John Arman from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest here as we continue solving world's problems and making some new ones. And well, John, how did your rifle season go for deer this year?
Well, I don't know. Like you said, it's one of those, I have a love-hate relationship with deer. I mean, the deer hunting season or rifle season, because of all the work that we put in. And then it just seems like there's so many people out there rifle hunting. And I know there's not a lot of tags, and there's some tags that were cut back, which was nice.
Yeah.
And I'm all for everybody having a good time, but it just seems like we just get pummeled around our property at times. We're trying to manage it, and again, I know we don't own the deer, but my philosophy is if they're on our land, we do own them because there's no one going to come in there. And people will argue with me on that. And I'm like, well, we feed them, we take care of them, I raise them, I can show you pictures for 3-4 years, and then a neighbor shoots them. And that happens. And, part of it is I don't care, try to be, happy for them. But then when they keep inviting more people there, and say that, there's only we're trying to get grandma and grandpa their last deer. And then I see a kid with a suppressor with his dad sitting over our coulees. It gets a little stressful. I mean, and again, it's their property. They have a right to do it, but it's just, most neighbors get along with each other and try to get along. But it seems like during deer season, it's like, and I get that way. I get to be a crabby person. And this year I let two of the biggest deer I've ever had in front of me with a rifle walk.
Why is that?
Trying to get them. I didn't feel like I was shooting them. I was like, the one of them is one that I've been trying to kill, bow hunting. I didn't get a chance to bow him. And I said, I am going to stick to my guns, and I'm only going to bow hunt. I tried bow hunting him before the season, even during the season, and actually had a chance at him, but it was it was one of those things that when you see the video of it, it's like it's just a mess. I was sitting with a buddy trying to get him a call buck for bow season, so I had my rifle with me. We had an orange on in the blind. I had my bow. We videoed this buck coming out right in front of our other blind, and I put these rub posts in there. And this big, it ended up being the deer that Jason shot, a beautiful 150-inch, 54-inch 8-pointer. And I'd have loved for him to make it through the season too, but he was dumber than a box of rocks. But he came out right in front of that other blind, and I'm like, we were supposed to sit in that blind, but then the wind changed. It came into our bean field, started walking to us, and Johnny is like, please don't come this way. Please don't come this way. That's JW's buck. That's JW's buck. I said, no. I said, buddy, I said, you know the rule. I got the camera. You got the bow. I said, if I'm on him, you can shoot him. And he was at 40 yards broadside in front of us, and he wouldn't shoot him. So the deer went back, and he just looked at the camera. He goes, JW, you owe me big time. You know. And then all of a sudden, here comes another buck, and it's the one I'm after. He jumps the fence, comes in the bean field. He's going straight to the south. Hits the cornfield, which is what the other one did, but then he started coming to us. I'm like, oh my gosh! I said, don't come here because there's no way I'm going to be able to get a shot at him. I could have dumped him with my rifle, and he just went in the corn. And I thought, okay, thank you, Lord. We're just not set up for it. I'm filming. Didn't have my release on, so I'm trying to get my release on. And we got about 20 minutes of light, and I'm scanning the corn to see where he's at. And all of a sudden, he's 30 yards behind us, to the side of us. He walks by the blind at 18 yards in front of us. We have last light shooting. I give Johnny on him in the camera. He goes, I'm on him. I said, you focus? He goes, I think so. I was trying to get my feet underneath me because I was in the wrong position to shoot. Couldn't draw my bow, and ended up having him walk by me at 18 yards, 40 yards out in front of the blind, and just watched him walk away.
No, man.
And yeah. And so that was a heart, kind of a heart dropper. Saw him again the next day and could have shot him with a rifle, but passed him, then hadn't seen him for 2 weeks till the last night, the Saturday of the closing. I saw him on camera, and I know he's alive, so I'm going to bow hunt him, and I hope he makes it. It's like always a chance, you let these deer grow. And so I pass them, and if I don't shoot them with my bow, next year they're going to be giants, and I mean giants. But the odds are they probably won't make the winter because the one last year I did the same thing, never saw him again. So it's like, am I stupid or what, Scott?
That's a tough decision, though. I mean, do you let them go and think that they're going to make it, or are they going to jump on the neighbors and they have somebody bow hunting over there, or a muzzleloader tag, or that's a difficult one. I think ultimately you just got to look back and say, you know what, you're doing the best you can for the health of the deer in your area. And I think everybody knows it. I know your neighbors over there. I know they know what you're doing. And I don't know if they put in as much work on food plots as you do or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, is that my philosophy on hunting has always been, people that work hard at it. We got a couple guys that are good hunters out there, and they don't do anything. They come out and help the rancher fix fence, which is great.
That's
awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
But they don't do anything beyond that. But they're good hunters. They let things grow. And when they shoot one, I get a little jealous and I get a little frustrated. But I'm happy for them because they're good hunters, and they put time. They sit every day. They sit all day. I struggle with the guys that just roll in there and shoot at everything and anything, drive the roads. And we have a lot of that, guys driving around. It's just one of those areas that they always have extra doe tags. And I had a guy coming through into our property. I said, can I help you? He goes, well, I was just going to go through here to get to the state land. I said, well, it's private property. And I said, there's actually no access to it anymore. I said, because it's closed. I said, we got the neighbor fenced it off. It's a closed section line now. So, and I said, ours, you have to go through private. And I said, I know it shows on the map, but it seems like those maps never change.
Never change. Yeah. Yep.
And it's kind of amazing how people will go through a big gate with two big signs that say no trespassing because they're looking at a map and say, well, this is what the map says. And again, I'm not that brave. I would at least pull in and ask, because, you get caught trespassing. That's a big deal.
Well, it depends on if your state's attorney in your county is going to do anything with it.
Well, and that's true too. And that's hard. And Connor Shelby's, boyfriend or fiance was in town, and we were talking about, Russ was hunting elk out there, and with the landowner, and they were on that giant elk, a giant, like it was 396. They say that killed it, and the young lady killed it, and good for her. But they were able to get into one piece of property that had one sign off because the older gentleman forgot to re-up it in their posting, the electronic posting.
Mhm.
And there was one gate that didn't have a sign on from the year before, and they used that gate and went through there and they shot that elk. And it's like, Connor's like, how can they do that? And I said,
Yeah.
well, North Dakota is that way. He goes, that's just weird, because
It is weird,
South
and it's
Dakota.
not right to do. You should still, if you know you're going into somebody's property, you should be asking them. I don't care what it is.
I know guys, and I know a lot of guys will complain about that, but I really believe that as a landowner, I shouldn't have to, and I don't think we should have to re-up our land every year. It should stay automatic posted until we're deceased or we change our mind, because it's, why should we put it on the landowner all the time? Why not put it on the hunter? It's their privilege to go out there and hunt. And I always stop and ask the landowner. I said, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, we got in that fiasco with when we shot a deer, we had a right to go get it. I still ask the landowner, because it's the right thing to do. I just think it's the polite thing to do, and it helps relationships with hunters and landowners, but not everybody sees it that way.
Yeah. And, and like everything, there's always that one bad apple of whether it's hunter or landowner that they get in trouble or mad. And, you can't, so some of it, this year, I had one person and he accidentally had to stop in the yard and ask to try to get up to some federal stuff because I was literally out in the middle of the yard washing some stuff up here on the last nice day. And he would have driven right through the yard and if I wouldn't have been there. And so the same thing. He's like, well, is this trail? I'm like, yeah, it's a trail, all right, but it's a private property. So you can't go through that. But anyway, we're up against a half hour. We got some text message coming in here. This is always a hot subject, and we're getting on this here. But yeah, let's talk about more of this here. John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV is my guest. And if you have any comments, hey, let me know them one side or the other. 888-932-5682 is the toll-free number. 425-6651 with the 701 in front of all that is my cell number if you want to chime in and send me what you feel. Coming back right after these messages. Cattle producers, the Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale is coming up on DV Auction on January 26th through the 31st with 45 coming 2-year-old bulls, 5 registered bred heifers, and 100 commercial open replacement heifers. Free delivery available on all bulls. $100 sale credit to anybody who comes and views the bulls or the bred heifers in January prior to the sale. You can find more information at SchrieferRedAngus.com or DVAuction.com. The Schrieffer Red Angus timed online production sale only on DV Auction, January 26th through the 31st.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, where local banking is as comfortable as your favorite pair of work boots. Step into our branches and experience a friendly atmosphere, personalized service, and financial expertise. Whether you're a hardworking farmer, a small business owner, or a local resident, we've got the banking solutions that you need. So kick off your boots and let us take care of your financial needs at Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, BowmanLivestockMarketing.com.
Ranchers looking for grass? Join Piper's Auctioneers for 2 exclusive ranchland auctions in the Tri-State Corner. On December 10th, bid on 2,500 acres of pasture, hay, and hunting land in Bowman and Slope counties near Marmarth on the edge of the Badlands and the Little Missouri Valley. Pipers will also offer a 7,000-acre ranch in Bowman and Fallon counties built for year-round livestock production with an incredible hay and cropland base. For full details and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the region, log on to pipers.com.
The North Dakota Stockman's Foundation will host a night of fun-filled Western elegance at the Stockman's Ball December 6th in Bismarck. Come enjoy prime rib, auctions, entertainment, and dancing to live music. Your support will help the foundation provide hope and opportunity for the cattle industry for this generation and the next through disaster relief, scholarships, research, and more. It's a good time and for a good cause. Call 223-2522 for tickets. That's the Stockman's Ball, December 6th in Bismarck.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran-owned and operated. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down, and when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. The second half of Dakota Prairie Outdoors continues on a pretty decent Saturday morning, unless your water's froze up or something. And otherwise, hey, we're on the right side of the dirt. Welcome back. John Arman is my guest here from Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. John, we sparked up, like we always do, some interest in the old private property side of things, as we always do. And one of them says private property rights exist in North Dakota all year round besides the 3 weeks in November. So there's one of them. So I got to go up through a few of these other ones and pre-read them to make sure that I say them the correct way. So, and the Ruby number 7 says hello. So I don't know what that means. It says Ruby number 7. I say hi to John, and where is the farm?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Don't know what that one is. So, other than that, we have archery season going on here. I'm going to read some of these private property ones here, but I don't think it's that hard to just go up to somebody's place and knock on the door and say hi. And here's some advice for that too. Don't show up in all orange, just getting out of the pickup like you're ready just to jump in. Just take that orange off and just walk up to them without all the orange on. Because in a lot of people's minds, they're like, oh, you're road hunting basically. And
it's like, do it before season. There's times that it doesn't always happen, and you may find a field of geese or something like that when you're scouting. But again, I think that, preparation and everything you do, if you're a rancher, you're a farmer, and you're not prepping for the season and you're not preparing for it, you're going to suck at it. In the same way as this hunting, if you don't prep and plan and do your homework, you're going to suck at it. And that's the biggest problem I think people have is they don't want to put any effort in it. And if that's the way you want to hunt, that's fine, but don't have the same expectations as the guy that does all his homework and gets out there and does stuff. And I just think that it's such a cut and dried thing. It's private property. It's no different than your store. It's no different than your house. It's no different than your car. It's your property. I can't go in your car and look for something. I can't go in your house and look for something. I can't go in your shop and look. It's all trespassing, and all of a sudden you throw an animal and hunting into it and it changes things. And it's not that way. Yeah. It shouldn't be that way. And like I said, it's, again, I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody hunting, but just ask, and and people can complain about, not having a place to hunt. And I was driving with Connor along the river bottoms. I said, look at all this. He goes, this is unbelievable. I said, yeah, this is all hunting. And I said, how many people you see out pheasant hunting today? He goes, not one.
No.
And I said, it's because it's hard. I said, you got to go down there. But I said, it's phenomenal. I said, if I was a kid, I would be down there every day. I'd have a boat on the river. I'd be shooting geese off the river. There's places you can hunt. And I just think, we're a society of, we want everything fast and furious. And it's like if the pheasants are sitting in a haystack in the farmer's yard, that's where we want to hunt.
Yeah. Well, a couple texts here. Gary says, grew up in Minnesota. All private land is considered posted, sign or no sign. That's how we learn to go up to the door, introduce ourselves, ask. No one on here would be comfortable having someone walk through their yard in town while they're out grilling on their deck simply because you don't have a no trespassing sign hanging on the corners of your lot. Just be courteous to people. And another one, Dave from Minnesota says, I don't have any problems with trespassers for deer hunting. He's out in the Minnesota side too. Everybody pretty much respects the landowner on the deer hunting. And my problem with trespassers is in the spring, the mushroom hunters think they can go wherever they want. And other ones are, there's always those other ones. Like out here, we got bird watchers in the springtime that want to come out and and now we're getting the mountain bikers and not the good ones. We're talking the ones with the messy hair man buns and from California coming out here type of thing. So it's a different situation, but it's still private property no matter whatever you're doing on it.
Oh, it is. And like I said, I think snowmobile is the same thing. It's like I can't, if I don't know exactly where I'm hunting and I don't know the boundaries, I'm nervous. I would be nervous all the time. It's like, I don't want to wreck my hunt. I don't get to hunt every day. It's not like this could be my only hunt, for a week or two. And it's like the preparation and just being, and with the maps nowadays, like I said, it's so easy to find the landowners, whether they're in state, out of state, and most of the people that are out of state have ranchers and farmers farming or ranching their area. So then, and you can get a hold of them and they'll give you the number if they're not the ones that are, giving the access. So it's not that hard.
No, it isn't. It isn't. I really don't think so either. But it all depends on how you come across, and some landowners can come across a little stern and so can some of the hunters. And if a guy would just come across, shake hands and start there, and it'd be a lot different too. But anyway,
absolutely.
We still have archery. I mean, South Dakota still got a couple. They got 1 week in the West River, 2 weeks in the East River side. So they're still rifle hunting. But archery is until, and South Dakota's got their, I got to check in on their mountain lion season here.
Yeah, I bet. Like I said, when that's because the kids are getting excited about that with the snow coming.
Well, they're moving quickly here so far. And this I don't know if this is last year's data or I can't tell. I got to look at the dates here. Oh, this is last year's data. So that's why. Okay. But this year it starts out here pretty darn quick. I think it's already open.
Yeah. And this snow is just exactly what I ordered for deer hunting for late season.
Yes.
Now they're going to the food sources. They have to, because we had such a phenomenal year with rain and growth. It's like we'd watch deer get up, and it was my worst year ever of deer hunting over food plots, and that's because they didn't have to come in.
Right.
We'd watch them get up at 300 yards away, and they would take them 2 hours to cover 300 yards. And this isn't a pasture because they ate their whole way, all the way here. So now Jason's sitting above the cornfields right now. He said he's been seeing the deer piling into them, and we got one field that didn't get all the way combined, so I'm not sure how that's going to work, because it's tough, because when there's 60 acres of corn, it's a lot harder to hunt than 10 acres of corn.
Yeah.
And we got soybeans still, but the soybeans are probably covered up, but I think with the soft snow, they can paw through there. So we'll find out tonight how it goes.
So let me ask you this, on all of your food plots that you put in, do you ever see the mule deer coming in and using them?
Yep. So it's funny. So I talked to a friend that he lived out in western North Dakota. He killed his mule deer over corn, over baiting with corn when he could bait. And I had never seen that before, but what I've seen our mule deer do is they come late season. They love the soybeans. They come into our soybean field. The last time we had soybeans up top, a couple of years ago, when it got cold, we had the elk and the mule deer and the whitetails, but the mule deer came in every night. They were in that soybean field. So they seem to like it. I've got alfalfa field, which, again, I was excited about our alfalfa field, but it just didn't, it was a great field, but it just didn't hold the deer like beans do and the corn do. So I might plow a little bit of it up, burn it off, and put beans in next year, just because it just wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I thought I'd be seeing like whitetail in there every night and mule deer, but again, this was kind of an odd year.
Text comes in, says food plots worked out great for us this year. Even though we had plenty of greens left here, he killed his mule deer right next to the corn pie plots. So that's a lot of us up here. I mean, there's some corn that's planted around the country, but I don't have any cameras. I really can't. It's not on my property, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Another text comes, it's amazing how things work out. East River, South Dakota hunters bought a high-priced quarter West River and found out that my daughter's ranch held all the deer this time of the year, and now they're begging access. By the way, they have worn out their welcome with most of the neighbors over the years, because they're from one side of the state buying out some land on the other side of the state. So you got a lot of that going on, John. I mean,
well, and it's tough, because if you're a rancher and you want that quarter of land, and a guy, it's called capitalism, and people have worked hard and they make money and they have a right to come in and buy that land, but it doesn't sit well, because, and again, to me, when that happens, you can't blame the out of state guy, or you can't blame the in-state guy buying the land. If you're going to blame anybody, blame your neighbor that sold it to them. But they want to get the most money that they can out of the property. And right now, ranching, and, even though cattle prices are good, you're not going to get, the land in our area is
pretty expensive. Yeah.
Well, it's $1,200 is what it's appraised at. There's no way in HE double hockey sticks I would sell our land where we hunt for probably less than $3,000 an acre.
Yeah.
And I know I can get it. I already had a guy offer me it, and I'm like, I'm not selling, but he's got the money and he would sell it. Now, I would love to sell it to my neighbor who's a good farmer, good kid, but I got to look out for my family. And so, are you going to sell it for $1,000? Are you going to sell it for $3,000?
Right. Exactly. And not only that, but and what a lot of people don't understand too is, they buy a quarter or a short quarter, and that gives them right to get a gratis tag.
Right.
But sometimes that 160, 150 acres, you're not going to get much, so they have a gratis tag, but all the deer are somewhere else, so, I mean, gratis tag doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a deer. It just guarantees that you have access to a tag. And a lot of people don't realize that one either.
Well, and again, I think it all comes down to, I mean, everybody has a right to do what they want to, but it's hard. Because, we took one buck off of our place this year. I mean, quality buck. We shot one little basket rack for a young lady, or that was, her and her family are out there, and one little mule deer. But you can't shoot, we can't take 6 big bucks, mature bucks off our place and think we're going to have anything. And the problem is, say I get one quarter and I got 3 guys around me that manage their land real well, and I bring in all my buddies.
Yeah.
And we shoot 6 and 8 bucks a year, as a neighbor, that's, and again, they can say, well, you don't own the deer, but my philosophy again is, what are you doing to put back for the wildlife? Are you helping it? Are you hurting it? What are you doing? And sometimes as hunters, we just buy our tag and say we can do whatever the hell we want, and we're just going to shoot whatever we want, and we don't care. And again, that's your prerogative, but is it helping, the area, the relationship, the deer numbers, all that stuff? It all goes into play, and it's no different than ranching and grazing your pasture down to nothing. You can't do it every year like that, because then what happens?
Yeah, it's not productive for the next situation. Tim comes in and he says, I tell hunters who come by my place, relying on only Google Maps, which don't show ownership. He tells them, just purchase a county atlas. They're only like 30 to 40 bucks, and you can get them at the courthouses. Heck, you can get them on the counters of some stores once in a while. And Waylon also mentioned, he says, they harvested a majority of their mule deer over the food plots that they planted as well. So that's interesting for me, because, we don't do many food plots out in this area in the Badlands. I mean, we just don't. And really no places to really do them. If somebody's going to put in a food plot, it's usually
hay.
It's a alfalfa or a mix of something, or a quarter section, and that's hard to hunt that too.
Do you guys have you got some grain fields out there, don't you?
We don't personally on our place here, but like some of the neighbors up north, right before you drop into the river, there's a little flat plateau, and he had some corn up there this year, and there's a lot of wildlife in that cornfield right now. He combined it, and there's a lot of it.
It's amazing in North Dakota. Like I said, the corn is not the best for deer, but boy, they love it, because it's a hot feed, and they're going to go in there. As long as they got browse and other things, it's like, I don't think too many deer eat themselves to death with corn, but it's nice to have a mix of stuff. But it will, when it's cold like this, they're going to be if you got soybeans, they'll be in soybeans, but otherwise they're going to be in the corn.
Yeah.
And they love that corn.
Yeah. I'd love to put some food plots in. I really would. Another text says, we passed in a number of young bucks this year with great potential for next year. Hopefully they make it. I guarantee, though, if they got near the county roads, all the roadies would have blasted them. So.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. I mean, again, it's like I saw a guy, driving around, saw him on Sunday, and his kid ended up shooting a really nice deer. But they're kind of the local guys, and they have permission from some of the landowners. And it was the last day, and they said they've struggled seeing anything. And I think the kid ended up shooting a really nice 160-inch deer. So, but again, they have made relationships with some of the landowners, and so they have access a lot of times on the last weekend to go hunt some of them, and it paid off for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. It would be interesting to see what soybeans would do in the Badlands. It really would.
Oh man, to me, it's like the first year I planted them, because I was probably one of the first guys out in our area to have soybeans, even farmers. I don't think anybody was planting soybeans back then.
Right.
But it is, the first year it was like, they weren't quite sure what it was, but man, I'll tell you what, they're absolutely phenomenal. And the thing about soybeans and corn, you can sprinkle once you get them going, and you sprayed them a couple times with your weed killers. You can go in there and broadcast turnips, and turnip seed is tiny like alfalfa, and they will grow. And elk love turnips, deer love turnips. They like everything about them, and it creates a lot of forage in a small area. So, I mean, as far as tonnage and stuff, because it's got the leaves and the bulb underneath them, and a lot of guys put them in as cover crops.
Question comes in, says, John, how big are your food plots typically?
Typically, like I said, I've got quarter-acre kill plots, and I've got probably, I like to have them at least 3 to 4 acres. It depends on our deer numbers are down, but some of them are 8 acres. So you can't put in small ones and expect them to make it unless you fence them off. Because it doesn't take, if you got even 30, 40 deer on a 3-acre soybean field, they'll mow it off. If you're not getting adequate moisture and stuff, it doesn't take long. So my soybean field this year is I took a little bit more when we changed renters, and I got probably 8 acres, 10 acres up top with soybeans. I've got probably 5 acres of turnips, probably 5 acres of corn on the south end, and on the north end we got probably 8 acres of corn. And then our new tenant Blaine was super good about leaving. He left us probably 4 acres in one spot, and the corn did so well this year. The cobs are like footballs.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be healthy. But I think it's kind of make them as big as you can, because worst case scenario, you'll have leftover in the spring, which they'll eat on them, all winter and spring when there's food there.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can even have your local farmer come in and combine it. If we've had years where there was no snow and we had a bunch of corn, and you either got to plow it under or have someone come in and combine it in the spring.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of those food plots, if you're got any kids or anything and you want to have fun looking for shed antlers, it's a great place to look for them too, is in those food plots.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, if a guy can put out, I think I'll put out some alfalfa bales, because we had that little alfalfa field, had the neighbor cut it, and he probably got 6 to 7 bales off of it. And I'm sure if I asked him for one of them, he'd give it to me, just because I gave it to him, because I said, I either going to mow it down or you come in and cut it, And so gave him the hay, and it was good alfalfa. Got a good stand. So kind of works both ways, helping him and he helps me.
Absolutely. Well, John, where can we find your television show ad here right now? If you're in around like my area, South Dakota area, where can you go online and go find this?
Well, right now we're airing on KFYR. We're Saturdays at 5:00, and we are Sunday mornings at 6:30 on West Dakota Fox. And then I think Me TV, they changed it, and I'm not sure when it is. I can't remember.
But you can find it there. I'm sure you can search it.
Yeah, you can find it there. And then I'm putting our shows on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
You can go on YouTube anywhere you want and find them. Trying to keep up with all the young kids.
I don't think YouTube is the young kids format anymore, but it's nice to put them on there.
It is, and then everybody has access, because we used to cover the whole state and then some, and now we don't. So it's just a way to share it with anybody and everybody.
Yeah. And I got to put this, we got all kinds of stuff coming in here right at the end of the show, so we'll have a little bit more. But in 30 seconds here, it says, best thing about corn is that it's quick habitat. It provides cover food and even winter thermal cover. It won't replace grass and tree cover for fawning and nesting, but it's a quick it's good for the time being. So there you go. Trees take 10 years to provide protection. But anyway, John, I appreciate you on the show. Stay with me here. We'll do a little bit of after hours. John Arman, Ultimate Outdoor Adventures. Find him. Have yourself a great weekend, everybody. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur and wool, and enjoy your weekend. Give it a few seconds here and let the radio stations click out here. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Good show, he says. Says, yeah. Now, I seen people attempt to plant apple trees and all kinds of different things as quote-unquote habitat.
Right.
And, I'll tell you this, if you have mature apple trees, they're going to come in there when the apples are falling, and they're definitely going to eat some of those. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
Are they going to sit in those? I mean, unless you're making these tree rows 6, 7, 8 to 10 rows deep, they're not going to use them as habitat if they're just one row.
No, you have to put in. And apple trees are soft bark, so if you don't take care of them, I mean, you really got to baby them, because they'll hammer them. I should have planted some, and I still should plant some. I keep saying I got water up there, I could actually water them. But it's a natural, a guy could have done it when he couldn't bait, and you could have had it 20 yards from your stand, and you're going to have deer coming through there all day long, the biggest thing is, like I said, if you're going to put them in tree rows, you got to take care of them. And they're really not habitat. They'd be more for food.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's some big deer in the eastern side of the state, man.
Oh,
when they say, there's no habitat there. I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, again, I've been out there, and I've got the privilege to hunt out at Oaks now with Wes Maley and Drop Time Lodge, and they farm. So his ex-brother-in-law, he's still his best friend, has 12,000 acres, and they're big farmers. I mean, what they got, their grain bins look like an elevator in a small town. That's how well they're just good operators. But everything they do when they farm, they always think about wildlife. If they drain tile something, and I think there's a law you have to, but they automatically do stuff. If they take 40 acres out, they leave 40 acres of CRP in.
Yep.
And they have good CRP out there, and they've got the sloughs out there are phenomenal. The slough habitat is phenomenal, because even on snowy years, these deer still go in there. If you're not burning them, and a lot of guys will burn them, and they want to, on a dry year, they want to farm it. So some of those areas are pretty bleak, because it's farm road to road, and your habitat is not corn. Like the gentleman said, it's quick habitat for pheasants or something like that, but you're not going to sustain animals on a section of land that's just cornfield.
No.
If there's no other cover there. But if you have that cornfield and you have CRP, and you got in the middle of that cornfield, you got a big slough, it's amazing, the habitat. I had a misconception of that there was nothing out there. And when I went out there, it's in that area by Oaks, and that place is phenomenal on those guys' property, because they have a sportsman's club, and they give back to the community. They got stuff for kids. And some of the farmers, again, every farmer and every rancher is different. You can go out west where you're at, and there's guys that are going to have a lot of animals because they may flash graze, they may rotate better, they may leave out an area, versus a guy that's got to mow everything down,
Mm-hmm.
And
it all depends. Yeah.
It all depends on what you want. And if you need it for survival, it's hard, because a guy's trying to make a living at it, and it's a tough living.
Well, if they had let me charge for elk hunting, boy, golly, it would make a lot of difference, wouldn't it? But I can't do that.
Why can't you?
Because then you got to be an outfitter.
No, you don't. You can
I can charge for access, but I can't charge for But that's a great, great area again.
you can charge $5,000 for access. I mean, it's like
and then
I know.
And then all of a sudden an airplane shows up and he's pushing elk off of that private land. Yeah.
I
So
know.
Brian Warner or Eric says, seeing that guys are taking the metal frame off of those old chemical totes, and they use them to protect small trees. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a very good idea.
Yeah. Brian Warner says, good show this morning. Always good to listen to you guys. 701 Nation, we're planting 1,500 Carigana and 1,500 lilac this spring. The deer and pheasant love those things. Yeah, they do.
Tell them to put in some, what do you call them?
Russian olives?
Yeah, because the game and fish is ripping them all out. I would still plant Russian olives. I still think they're a phenomenal. They protect the pheasants and stuff like that. Yeah, they grow like weeds, but man, they're good cover. They're no different than buckbrush. What do we call that stuff that's got we just call it bullberry patches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it's thorny.
Plenty of that. Yeah, we got bullberry bushes all over this country out here.
But I know they're ripping them out. They're going all over the country and ripping them all out here in North Dakota, and it's because it's a noxious weed, they say.
Yeah, so a Russian olive is considered a noxious weed, which is why they're ripping them out.
Yeah.
So,
but
they don't
good cover.
But like the Game and Fish don't give us any chemical for hound's tongue or anything like that actually kills the animals. They're ripping out Russian olive that doesn't kill animals. I don't understand that. Let's see. Russian olive, great for birds. Don't care what the government says. All right.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, again, it's funny how that all changes. We had elm trees and they're bad. Well, they protected and did a lot of good across the country for many years, and like Marty Beard said, what happens when the green ash borer gets here and we don't have any trees to replace, and we took all the Russian olives out. What are we going to have for cover and things like that? So there's all ifs and buts. You just don't know.
Right. And it all depends, of course, where you're at. Right. I mean, that's the thing. You come out, like, you need to come out and visit me, John. Take in a little drive. There's more tree cover out here than you can't even fly for coyotes out here. It's just too much,
How are the elk doing out there? Have you been seeing a lot of elk?
Very healthy.
You got any cows out there?
Yeah, we they're still hanging up on that cornfield up north on my neighbor's place. But it's if you're going to cow hunt starting now in my area, you better be willing to put some hiking on, because where they winter at is not easy ground to get into.
Yeah, and I know it's, we kind of waited because of everything else. I got that buddy of mine that's got from Mike Kramer from Off the Grid Ministries that is working with me, and he's got a cow tag, and he put in because he goes, I'm going to be dead before I ever get drawn, and I want to do it with my kids. And I said, well, you'll get drawn.
Yeah.
So, and I've been hoping that we would have some on our place, but right now I know Jason saw some bulls, but I don't know if we have any cows. They come through there so randomly, and Russ will probably be looking. He has his landowner looking out there, so we're going to try to find one that we can go out and spend a weekend and film it and have fun. So if you got anything, like I said, come out and maybe do some coyote hunting or whatever. Yeah. And if there's a neighbor we can call or stop by and talk to.
Oh yeah, I can make that work here. That's not a problem. I got a couple other neighbors that have gratis tags, and I'm trying to help them fill.
Yep.
Levi's got a cow tag guy. I got but like I said, I can.
And then Shelby's got a cow tag from South Dakota, so she's excited about that.
Nice. The thing is, though, people need to learn how to shoot at 500 to 600 yards.
Yeah,
consistently and comfortably, because that's easy to get one and they'll go down. But the cows, the other morning, I thought I'll get right on. I even sent Levi a message. I'm like, how quick can you get your cow guy here, right? And he didn't answer me back for a few hours, so I went to the neighbor and I says, there's a bull elk in here. So we went and there was 48 cow elk. There was 16 bull elk mixed in. There's so many eyes that they can catch you so quickly.
Oh yeah. And it's amazing how they disappear.
Oh, for like a big animal, you can't see them.
Yeah. In our area, they're not hunted, and they're freaking wily. I mean, very, very few times are they ever hunted in our place. And it's like, and I told Mike, I said, you'll have to shoot, you need to shoot my gun, just because he doesn't have a gun that, I think he's got an old 270, a low power scope. I said, because you're going to have to be able to, get down in a prone position. And I said, with this gun, I mean, guns nowadays, you get a good scope on it, you can shoot. And I know it shoots at 500 yards because I shoot my gong. And I said, because you may have to, reach out and touch them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. It's a little bit hard for people to get that concept, but 200 to 300 yards. Yeah. If you live out here with me and you're helping fix fence every day, we can find that. But if you're going to just come out for the weekend, you better learn how to shoot a little bit longer.
Yeah. Unless a guy's got a field that they're coming into where you can set up on. And like I said, they're so random, and maybe some guys have them consistent, but yeah. And there has been a lot of big deer. Did you see that deer in South Dakota that was shot? Holy shit.
I know. There's some giants, man.
I mean, it's over a 200. The base has got to be 8 inches. Yeah. And the kid shot it like on public land, and it looks like an old marlin lever action or something like that.
Sweet. Even better.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have no worries, man, with anybody that shoots stuff with old lever actions. It's like, if you were to show up, even if your freaking pickup was wrapped in blaze orange, but you showed up and said, I'm trying to take something with a lever action 357, I'd be like, hell yes.
Yeah, we have a young lady next to us. They hunt the neighbors, and they sit right on our fence line. And I've talked to them. I said, hey, just got to know your intentions here. I said, I'm that guy. I said, I'm a bad neighbor, but I can be a really good neighbor.
Yeah.
I said, if you're here to shoot a big buck, I said, you're going to see me sitting on my fence line right in front of you. And I said, I don't want to be that guy. He goes, no, we're just shooting does. My daughter's, wants to shoot a doe. And so they shot does last year. And I said, if you see one on our side, you can shoot it. And he's like, she's going to try to shoot a buck this year, small buck. I said, if you shoot a small buck, want to shoot a small muley buck or whatever, I said, if it's on our side, go ahead. She's shooting a lever action 30-30 open sight.
Nice.
And I
said, yes.
I said, I'm more than happy to let you shoot on our side. I said, and it's one of those deals. It's like, I don't mind them, because I told my neighbor, I said, if they're going to hunt bucks, I said, the only thing I'm going to ask you to do is move them, a quarter mile off of our fence line, so they're not sitting right, because they're not hunting anything of theirs. It's all coming in and coming out of ours, and it's right through their farmstead. And again, if they shoot does, it's a perfect place, and we don't sit there very often. And I was like, man, I stopped and talked to him. I said, have at her. If you need help, let me know. Yep. I said, more than happy to help the girls.
I agree.
Yeah. But it's my other neighbors that tell me, oh, they're done hunting. And I said, is anybody else hunting? Well, we just got one. My uncle and he's got a doe tag, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there looking, and I see a kid with a suppressed gun sitting over our draw with a dad that's 50, and he goes, "Oh, it's a grandma and grandpa, and they want it's their last hunt of their lifetime, and they're pushing deer." And I'm like, he's sitting over our draw. He's not pushing deer. They're hunting. Oh, they're just pushing deer to grandma and grandpa. And Jason was watching. Grandma and grandpa didn't even have a gun. It's like, geez. It's like, it's your land. Do whatever you want, but don't lie to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Like
it is. Yeah. What do you
And I'm turning into that crotchety old neighbor that's going to be driving around like old Jimmy Wright used to do, honking at the deer.
Oh, Jimmy, forgot about him.
Yep, he's in Rapid. He's down there. Yeah, and he's last time I talked to him, he killed like a 160 with his niece's 40-pound bow because his bow broke.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's doing well. I think he's working for the school system there, and I talk to him every once in a while because I miss the guy. We had fun with him. He was a good guy.
Did he sell his stuff?
Yeah, because he was renting the old Wright house, where he his in-laws grew up, and I think it was one of those deals that he just got tired of because he didn't own it, and so he just moved on and went down there. I think he's got family in South Dakota.
Yeah, I tell you, it's always interesting when deer season is here and when it leaves, but it's still going on. I got phone calls here. There's a lady that was hunting cow elk on the neighbors, and she gave me a call yesterday, and I was like, you think that today's a good day to be out hunting when everything is like buried in the wind and snow and everything? I said, you got to wait until like Sunday morning when the sunshine comes and it warms up, coming out of that cold 8 below here that we're going to have. They're going to be out moving around Sunday morning pretty nicely.
Yeah, like I said, and then like I said, if you're not willing to get through that snow and spot and stock and I'm looking at turkeys sitting on my bench outside. These dummies. They keep moving in. It's like as soon as I start feeding the horse.
Yeah. Which means I got to go out and feed mine here. So thanks, John.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, thanks again.
Yeah. I'll be up there tomorrow afternoon through Wednesday, Thursday. I got state broadband meetings that I going to take part of there, but
or give me a holler.
Yeah, something happens, I can break away for a little bit. Let's meet up.
Go have a beer. Sounds good, buddy.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, bye-bye.
You bet. All right, YouTubers, thank you guys for coming on here and having a little fun with us. Thanks for subscribing. Have yourself a great weekend.